All right, welcome everyone. We are live on the air, and we are doing this special WPCM from MJBizCon 2025. Way we're going to do this is we're going to break it up into 3 different parts. But we've put our edits together, and we'd love to be able to share this with you. So sit tight, relax. We'll come back and be interactive. You can use the chat. We can see all the chat messages. So everyone introduce themselves. Start with you, Kimmie.
I'm Kimmie Cannabis from Canna Talk About It in Oklahoma.
All right. And Tina?
I'm Tina Tasaka in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I do the news for Nevada and Tribal Nations. I'm with 420 Technologies and Iconic Representation.
Awesome. All right, sit back. You got your seatbelts on. We have our viewers. 3, 2, go.
Becky.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Elena Pinto. The Cannabis Coast to Coast News team was in Las Vegas, Nevada last week for MJBizCon 2025, led by executive producer Jimmy Young and executive director Eric Williamson. No fewer than 6 more regular contributors to this news show were on hand as well, including Tina Tasaka, Matthew Friedlander, Marianne Kersagi, Dina Naguib, Andrew Behringer, Kimmie Cannabis, Amie Carter, and Ryan Bringold cruised around the vendors, the breakout rooms, and of course, the parties. Kimmie Cannabis was especially busy even before she made an AI show entrance.
All right, time to go big. Let's light this thing. Woo, that'll do it. Vegas, here I come. Look at that view. Kimmie Cannabis taking flight. Made it. Have you seen Jimmy Young? He's up for an MJ award and I'm his ride.
Yep, might be inside the hall.
Thanks, I'll find him.
So this is for Cannabis Journalist of the Year. Nominees are
Mika King.
Okay, so while Jimmy enjoyed being recognized at the MJs, his choice for Cannabis Journalist of the Year, Rochelle Gordon from Green State won.
Rex Kelder, where is he? From Europe.
Javier Hawk. Jimmy Young.
Yeah! Jimmy!
drum roll. Yes, Wendy. Drum roll. Thank you. And our winner is Rochelle Gordon.
Thank you to Fairchild, thank you to the MJs, thank you to MJ Biz, thank you to all of you for letting me and the rest of the weed writers share your stories. Shout out to all the other weed writers. Happy birthday, Mecca, we appreciate you. If you care about the narrative in cannabis, you need to support the cannabis media. With your advertising dollars, or just like, share, subscribe, engage with the content. It will send Google the algorithm signals so that people outside of our echo chamber will see this information.
Yes!
Please do it. Thanks to everyone who voted. Thanks. And yeah, I said I'd get weird tonight if I won, so we'll see you guys later.
Everyone who attended the MJ Awards, the Grasslands Party, New Woo, and other activities can find a positive spin to an amazing event. Even though the numbers were down, there was still plenty of deals being done, product demonstrations, and networking on the floor. And of course, every cannabis conference allows people to just have fun while celebrating their favorite plant medicine. I even heard that Jimmy Young was moving his bionic body on the dance floor with Kimmie Cannabis from Oklahoma.
I'm dancing with Kimmie Cannabis at MJBizCon! Woohoo! 2025! Coming up on Cannabis Coast to Coast News with Elena Pinto, a special report, MJBizCon 2025.
I'm Amie Carter here at MJBizCon.
Time to write a check for one of our own.
Tina, how are you?
Yeah, are you excited?
Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Friedlander.
I'm Tina Tasaka with
Peace, love, and all that good stuff.
It's a wrap.
The world's largest cannabis trade show, MJBizCon, takes over the Las Vegas Convention Center once a year. Over 600 exhibitors from all over the world.
We have a packed schedule this year for MJBizCon. More activations, more experiences, more things happening both on the show floor and off the show floor this year than we've ever had.
Many of the biggest names and personalities in the industry.
Hey man, it was great. We had a lot of fun. You could tell it was a big day for us. My voice is gone, but it was fun.
That his interaction with the police was a very positive one.
And you know, the world today, you don't always know in the cannabis industry how your social accounts are going to last. One day it's great, the next day you're like, you're banned.
I'm looking to invest in small businesses that are just coming up, and I invest more in the people than the company.
Now, I want to take what I know about this industry that I helped build, that I love, that I have been a part of, and I want to take it to Washington. I am asking your support to send one of us to Congress. My name is Wanda James, and I'm running for Congress in Colorado's Congressional District 1.
I'm Amie Carter here at MJBizCon 2025 with Day Savers. We have Emma and Athena. Hi. Hello, we're Day Savers and we love cannabis coast to coast news.
Stand by. The recap of MJBizCon 2025 is next.
I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies and Iconic Representation, and this is the Nevada and Tribal Nations Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. MJBizCon 2025 in Las Vegas once again proved it is the most influential gathering in cannabis, uniting operators, investors, policymakers, tribal leaders, and global brands in Las Vegas. This year, the spotlight was on market growth, tribal momentum, federal uncertainty, and the continued dominance of flower. Tribal cannabis emerged as a major force, with state tribal compacts like Minnesota now allowing tribal produced products into regulated state stores, potentially laying the groundwork for future interstate cannabis commerce. New markets such as New York, Ohio, and Minnesota showed strong upside, while California and Michigan continue to win through quality. Hemp THC beverages entered the mainstream via major retailers, yet flower power remained king. MJBizCon 2025 showcased an industry at a pivotal turning point. If you want to watch more, watch Cannabis Coast to Coast News full live stream Monday night, December 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for a full recap of MJBizCon. That's it for the Nevada highlights and tribal nations. I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies and Iconic Representation for Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Welcome back to the Cannabis Coast to Coast News Special Report, MJBizCon 2025. I'm Elena Pinto. As you can tell, the WPCM TV production team was very busy trying to take 5 days of events and cutting it down into a few hours of content. But over the next few hours, we will be trying to share as much as possible from this trip to an amazing event. One of the things you will see are our short interviews with some of the movers and shakers in the industry, and many are success stories just to survive at all. Since, as you know, if you have survived a year, 2 years, or maybe even the 14 years that MJBizCon has existed, that alone is a tremendous accomplishment. Whether you've made some money or lost less than you even imagined, but all of us are part of a historic time of movement to end cannabis prohibition, an unjust part of our history where race, greed, and injustice have plagued the acceptance of this plant medicine that God put on this earth to heal the greatest creation, man and woman. First up, executive producer Jimmy Young sits down with a husband and wife team from Vermont, David and Jane Sandelman from Canatrol. The story of this couple is beyond the American dream. It is the story of ingenuity, perseverance, and drive. They had been a success in the drying and curing of meats and cheese for decades. And then, about 7 years ago, saw an opportunity to apply what they knew from that industry and apply their process to cannabis. The results have been remarkable for the commercial growers to the home grower here in the US and now internationally. Canatrol also saw the passion and vision Jimmy Young had 7 years ago and supported his venture as a founding sponsor. You can still find a link to canatrols.com on the website of WPCMTV.com. Here's Jimmy with the Sandelmans.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to MJBizCon 2025. I am Jimmy Young, the executive producer of Cannabis Coast to Coast News, and we're so happy to kind of start things off here on the floor with I got to consider these guys two of my oldest friends because we go back to the beginning of this venture back in 2019, Albany, NECAN. It's David and Jane Sandelman. It's great to see you guys. More importantly, it's great to see everyone still at this point in this industry, isn't it?
It's awesome, isn't it?
Jimmy. It's great to see you again.
It's great to see you guys again. And congratulations on where you were to where you are.
Yeah, it's been an amazing trajectory. It's been a lot of fun, pretty crazy.
And I'm certainly familiar with what you guys have, but let's talk a little bit about your product and why it has been so successful. We know why it's been so successful. The meat and cheese industry, they knew what they were doing. They just applied that knowledge to the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I'll let Jane explain some of that because it was an interesting ride coming from cheese and meat and then into the cannabis world.
Yeah, I mean, we had that technology and it was proven, it worked great, and we launched it into cannabis. And the way we launched it is no one would give us a room, to experiment in. So, who's going to give us like $1 million worth of inventory to try some crazy technology on? So David built the first what is now the Cool Cure, and he loaded it with all of our technology, and we gave it to a local grower. And he used it. He was very skeptical. He was like, I don't want to use this.
Wait,
he was very skeptical.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah. And he called us 2 weeks later, and he said, I don't know what this thing is, but I'm not giving it back to you.
This is
right. So
well, that was the story David related to you. He goes, it's the best we've ever done.
That's right.
Right? It was the most potent thing. Oh my God, whatever you guys are doing. But now you mentioned your new thing. I want to talk about your new thing that you're bringing to market.
Right. So we have finally now created something called the C2. And it's the next generation of the Cool Cure. And it is all food grade, the technology. We've added air movement. We've added an app so you can run it off your phone. We've really brought it up to 2025. And it's really just an extraordinary piece of equipment now for home grow. I mean, we sold 15,000 of the originals, which we now call the OG, which we're going to phase out.
Familiar with that.
And now the C series is here, gotcha. And we're launching later this year. Because we listened to our consumers, they said we need a bigger unit. So we're launching later this year something called the CXL, which is going to be about 4x the size of the current unit, and you'll be able to handle about 11 pounds of flour in there.
Wow!
So ours goes to 11.
That's fantastic, and I'll never. The quote I got from him from that first interview: "If you ever told me I was going to be in the cannabis industry, I would have said you were crazy." Right?
That's right,
yeah.
And I still say that.
That's right, because we pitch ourselves. We're not a weed conference.
And it really sunk in. Recently, we were at Cannabis in the Czech Republic. I mean, we sell all over the world, and here I'm sitting in a bar, the eastern corner, we're right on the Polish border, sitting at a bar, and a guy comes up to me and goes, I want to shake your hand and thank you for what you've done to the cannabis world. And I'm going, I'm out freaking in the Czech Republic on the Polish border, and someone knows who we are and what we do. It was like, that blew me away.
That's so satisfying for what you guys do. You provide a service for people to improve their grow, and you guys know about growing. They're really the superstars of this industry when you get right down to it. And even the home growers, are out there, and they're quite a breed unto themselves in the states that it's allowed, of course, because that's another issue.
Yeah.
Right? What's the future for Canatrol? What would you guys like to see this in 5 years, besides legal and normal?
You mean other than world domination?
Yeah, there you go. No, that's good. Good answer, though, Jane. I love that. What would you like to see?
Yeah,
How many-
it's-
you have
it's-
20 employees now.
It's the global expansion.
Yeah.
You know, we're now going EU, South America, and we just came out of Argentina show there, and we're absolutely blown away. We had no idea what was going on there. You know, talking to someone, there's 1,800 or so grow shops in the U.S. There are 5,000 in Argentina. In Argentina, you can have up to 9 mature plants for home grow per person. It's crazy. And they've got an amazing competition between their growers' cups and Chile. And here, you know, we didn't know this went on, and now we are embraced there.
Yeah, and one of the things that I know about the grow thing and also marketing and all these shows is they create these cups, these grow competitions. How do you have a resume or anything that you got?
We do.
How many cups has the
We
Candace
do.
Hall-
It's really funny. I just ran into Sebastian from 420
Yeah.
Fast Buds,
Yeah.
and he told me that he has won. He said he swept the Calyx Cup in Europe. And everything came out of a Canatrol. And then we have another guy, Chubbs, who's also with 420 Fast Buds, and he swept, I think, rosin and hash, all coming out of the Canatrols.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see more and more champions winning with Canatrol units.
I would love to talk to some of the people, your testimonials, your satisfied customers.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think
They're
that would
here.
be fascinating.
Yeah.
I know they are.
Yep.
And of course, I know one of them in the Massachusetts area, John Napoli from Van Garden.
Yeah.
But now that I know you've grown and you've expanded, we need to continue to tell your story.
Absolutely.
Because I remember when it was just the two of them.
Yeah, no, we're doing some pretty interesting things. Like we're working with pre-roll companies now who are using our equipment to stabilize flour before it goes into their equipment. And they're actually selling the Cool Cures as part of their equipment package because now we're improving their throughput. So and we're learning these things from growers.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Well, think about it. You guys knew the meat and cheese world, right?
Yeah.
And now you're learning a grow world. It's not completely different, but it is. You're using the same tactics and the techniques.
Science is science.
Science is science. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And we're all here because of the growth and the science behind us, because we like to think that those in certain governments would actually listen to the science, but we're not going to get into politics or policy today because everybody's walking around with a smile in their
That's
face.
right.
Yep. MJBizCon. And that's
right.
part of this, the camaraderie of the industry and the passion, because everybody's going through a difficult time.
Yeah.
But they're all looking towards each other to say, hey, we got to bond together. I'm sure
Yes.
you know what Steve D'Angelo and Andrew are doing.
Sure.
The One Plant Alliance, I believe is what
Yep.
it is. We covered that on our news last week. I love those guys. I don't care what type. Whoever comes up with negative, everybody likes to blame and knock people. No, I embrace and see the strength in it because we all know that we're in it.
Yeah.
And we have to go through this every single day.
We got to do it together.
All the time.
Yep.
Right? What's your goal here at MJBizCon?
I think just meeting more people, reconnecting with people we haven't seen in a while, like you. It's just, it's just a great reflection on the year. I think everybody's had a hard year, and I think it's a great time to just get together, retrench, and look to the future. Yeah. That's what we want to come out of this with. It's just a positive look for 26.
Absolutely, 100% positive. David and Jane Salmon, congratulations on your success.
Well, thank you.
And I think the international market may be a lot easier for you guys to carve out a real dominance in that market compared to what's going on in the United States, which, everybody likes to point fingers and say, oh, you're doing this. Whether you're at the federal level, state level, town level, they're doing whatever they can to make it as difficult as possible to stay in business. And yet we're still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, Jimmy.
It's good to see you.
Guys, too, and we'll have more of our special from MJBizCon 2025 after a break. No idea what's going to happen at this break because we just got here, but I guarantee we're going to get this thing moving and cranking. And thank goodness Eric Williamson is here to help me out. We'll be back with more after this.
I'm Amie Carter at MJBizCon 2025 with Amie from Advanced Nutrients. And Advanced Nutrients loves Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Hi, my name is Matthew Friedlander.
With Skagit Organics, reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast,
down here at MJBizCon, about to head into the cultivation center here for the Washington State Takeover. Cannabis Alliance is going to be hosting the state takeover this year. Our executive director, Caitlin, will be here soon. We're going to host a little panel talking about lessons 10 years in the cannabis industry. Washington State was the first state in the nation to have regulated cannabis laws on the books. Colorado beat us to market by a year, but we had the first laws. We have been in business now for almost 10 years. The cannabis industry is 11 years old here in Washington. And so we're going to be talking about all the things we've learned over the years and how best to move forward in this new landscape. So we'll have some more video from inside later today, but that's what I've got for you right now. I'm Matt, reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Now, while MJBizCon was cranking in Las Vegas this past week, there were some significant news items in the fight against cannabis prohibition in this country that we want to share. We will be interspersing some of our state reports from our group of volunteers who still contributed their insight to what is going on in their states. On the federal level, we will start in our home state of Massachusetts, where the fight for survival of the adult use industry is now under attack by a major prohibitionist organization called SAM, who is funding the Coalition for a Healthy Massachusetts. That group hired professional ballot signature gatherers in order to get past the state requirements of 74,000 signatures to get a prohibitionist question on the ballot. Now, the Associated Press and a conservative organization called the Free Press published an article straight out of the post-reefer madness lies of the 20th century. The article touts the, quote, anti-weed backlash in America and praises a so-called drug policy scholar named Dr. Kevin Sabet, who is the founder of SAM. Smart Approaches to Marijuana is what that acronym is. That same article called Sabet's influence as undeniable. So, like history, where the fight for American rights started in Massachusetts with the revolution that formed this country 250 years ago, now will be the stage for another fight for an adult use market that has grown exponentially and safely over the past 7 years. With more from Massachusetts, here's Curtis Emery.
I'm Curtis Emery, a bud tender from Resonate in Worcester, Massachusetts, with the Bay State Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. Continuing story here in Massachusetts, which has been building since this summer, the bill which plans to overhaul modern cannabis here in the state has made it through both chambers of the state government and now makes its way to the governor's desk for a final review. This bill plans to modernize the cannabis structure here in the state, which has been running as is since the market launched in 2018. This bill hopes to increase the daily limit for adult use customers, as well as add certain business incentives by changing the guidelines on retail licenses and changing the guidelines on things such as medical home delivery and so forth. We look forward to seeing where the future holds as that bill makes its way finally out of the government with a final ruling. Also here in the state, we are taking a break from last week, which Green Wednesday, Black Friday, some big days for mass cannabis, especially in the retail space. Now, thankfully, a local news source that we like to use here for the Bay State Report, Talking Joints Memo, was able to sit down with mass-based data company Lit Alerts to sort of get a play-by-play picture of how 2025 looks different from 2024. Right off the bat, we can notice some differences, including a decline in sales for Black Friday, which could be felt on the dispensary floor for sure, as well as a market share loss from flower and a market share gain from things like discrete vapes, products such as edibles, tinctures, and beverages, topicals, really didn't show any sign of change year to year. So it was, for sales, great year for cannabis. I've been Curtis Emery with the Bay State Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
I'm Amie Carter here at MJBizCon 2025 with Kristen from Blazy Susan.
We love Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Your cannabis business could be overpaying by hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal income taxes because of one simple assumption that you're making about your accountant. A dispensary owner in Colorado called me frustrated as hell. He'd been working with the same accountant for 3 years. His accountant said, What's 471c? Here's what the ignorance of that accountant was costing this business owner. $180,000 every single year for 3 years. 471c has been around since 2017. We're talking about an 8-year-old tax provision that many cannabis CPAs don't fully understand. 471c is one of the most complex and highly debated tax strategies in the cannabis industry. If you want to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table, I'm offering free 471c reviews this month. Link in the description.
Accounting Buds has grown into Buds Group, the same award-winning quality, now with more service offerings. Buds Group, your best buds in the biz.
Looking for PR that over-delivers on expectations? At Maverick Public Relations, they pair big agency experience with personalized attention. From launching award-winning brands to securing top-tier media hits, their data-driven communications team helps visionary leaders and entrepreneurs rise above the media noise. Maverick PR is responsive, collaborative, and relentless about results and ROI. Visit themaverickpr.com and make headlines together.
If you want to make history, if you want to be part of history, if you want to say you helped legalize marijuana in America, now is the time to join us.
All right.
So look at this thing. So I
Camera
finally
has
I
frozen.
finally figured out my big screen, so I won't be moving around anymore. Sorry, guys.
Eric has a twin.
I know he's twice. He's double trouble.
So Tina, tell us some of
Yes.
the highlights that you ran across.
The highlights of Las Vegas. Well, I have to say, I was, as a resident of Las Vegas 29 years, the highlights for me personally are bringing people to places and talking about Las Vegas to people that have never experienced certain locations in Las Vegas. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but I'll explain. You know, being able to take you and Kimmie, for example, to New Woo. I mean, New Woo is just such an outstanding facility. First off, it's tribally owned. It's right in downtown Las Vegas. And so the first thing that people get confused about is they're like, is this old Vegas? And it's like, I never referred to it as Old Vegas when I lived there. We call it downtown Las Vegas, or you call it Fremont Street. We never called it Old Vegas, but I guess everybody has their own term for it. So the fact that there's this little plot of land right smack dab in I almost said it, in downtown Las Vegas, that is tribally owned is just phenomenal. They have 4 acres. They have an unbelievable dispensary with all the pop-ups for the various brands. And they have a lot of great brands in there. I mean, we all know the brand names. I mean, we could start calling them out, but I don't want to leave anybody out. So they have all the brands in there, probably including their own brand, because I do know that they are a cultivator and their cultivation site is not too far away. They have a 24-hour drive-through. They have the Sky High Lounge. The Sky High Lounge looks over this courtyard that is so magnificent. You can have live music. You could have a boxing match. I mean, that's how they used to do it in old Vegas. In the original days of Vegas, they threw out a boxing. You would see live boxing, but Muhammad Ali would box on Las Vegas Boulevard, Caesar's Palace, with the stars. That's how it used to be. So taking you guys there and not only experiencing New Woo, but talking about old Las Vegas stories and taking you through some of those back roads, that was a highlight for me. But on to the show.
That was a highlight for me too, Tina.
Yeah, but New Woo was a real big highlight. And not only that, they had incredible specials. And then we went back the next day. Eric, you and I went back the next day. We met up with a bunch of people. They had media day.
Unfortunately, we missed some of it because we were in other events, which, there were events just scattered everywhere. So we went back for media day, but as soon as we walked in, everybody was there. Steve Angelo was there. There were a lot of big names there. There were a lot of people there. There were a lot of people that we knew there. And so they were just wrapping up the media portion to then go into a party that was going to go all night. And there were booths set up. There were a lot of tribal-centric companies set up there. And Nuwu was just amazing. The Paiute tribe of Las Vegas has done an exceptional job. Benny So is the chairman. And I didn't get to see him speak, but I know he was on a panel with Mary Jane Oatman and Rob Pirro from the Indigenous Cannabis Industry Association, the ICIA, and I missed that panel. And so the thing is, MJBizCon is just so massive that you couldn't be everywhere. And that was the tough thing for me, is there was too much going on. There was too many things to do and participate in. And,
There was a lot. There was a lot.
Let's pick out one event. Kimmie, can you talk about the Blunt Brunch?
Oh, I love the Blunt Brunch. I always like a bougie event. Let's get that straight right now. But I love the empowerment. And this year there was a lot of men there. So it was nice to see the supportive men behind the fierce, badass women. So that was good to see. Just saying. It was very good. I love the energy from Blunt Brunch. I do. When you get that many women and there's so many leaders in one place, I just feel like it's like uncontainable energy. So I invite that into my life anytime that I can get it. So I was glad to share it with Tina and with you this time. It was nice. So
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really
yeah.
good. We're going to move on to the B block. We're going to go ahead and cue that up. And then anyone that's watching, our chat is live. So we encourage you to go ahead and ask us questions or put in any kind of comments as we go along. But we're moving along. Jimmy's in the background, so you may see him pop up now and then. But let's go ahead and enjoy our next scene. I have to do a couple things here to make that happen, but let's go for it.
Welcome back to Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I'm Elena Pinto. We will have more from our special report on MJBizCon 2025 in a moment, but here's another one of our reporters from Ohio with an update on her state. Here's Christina Brisson in Ohio, whose legislature
And I have no
continues
idea how
try
to see chat when I'm on this. So if somebody asks me a question, you guys are going to have to let me know.
Hi, I'm Christina Brisson with Over the Top Renovations with your weekly Ohio Cannabis Report with Cannabis Coast to Coast News. So just a quick update for you this week. The Senate is scheduled to vote on Senate Bill 56 next week to see if that passes. We've talked a lot about the different revisions in there, but it's come to light recently there's some criminalization issues involved, where you could actually be in trouble for having your cannabis in a container other than what you purchased it in from said dispensary, or you can be in trouble also for getting your cannabis from across the state lines and then bring it over here, which we all know that Michigan is really quite a bit cheaper than it is here in Ohio. But on a plus side, Kent State University has decided to offer 6 new certificate programs in the cannabis industry. So some things are growing. We just got to reel in this situation, what's going on between the Ohio State government. So thank you very much. I am Christina Brisson with your weekly Ohio Cannabis Report with Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Welcome back to the Cannabis Coast to Coast News Special Report at MJBizCon 2025. I'm Jimmy Young, the executive producer of this program and the Cannabis Coast to Coast News Show every week on the YouTube channel that I call WPCM TV, as you can see, and it used to be Pro Cannabis Media. And I'm Jimmy Young, and I'm joined by Joshua Hoffman at the Bagels and Bash event here at Planet 13. We're actually at Dazed, and I was here last year, and I got dazed here. And it was a memorable experience because it was the first cannabis social club experience I had. Yeah. And now we're back at Bagels Bash. Yeah. So what is the culture of Judaism have anything to do with cannabis? And I think I know the answer to this question, but I'd like to hear how you perceive it.
Jews love weed. I mean, it's just, we just love it. I had a friend growing up. He wanted to be a Jew because he thought we all got to smoke weed. He thought that was part of the religion. So I think the connection's deep. I also think that we're spiritual and creative people, and cannabis is a spiritual and creative drug and an inebriating experience. And so I think that those two things have found each other over time.
I think he just kind of enlightened people about my personality and my background. We also have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
And I was a sports talk show host and a sportscaster for 30 years. So I kind of like to talk.
I feel you. I like to talk too.
And I'm scared of artificial intelligence because it talks back now. Right?
I mean, it talks back. But listen, all artificial intelligence, think about the Star Wars, right? All the droids that you love, they need people still. R2-D2 needs me, you know, C3PO needs you. So
I'm a Chewie guy.
You're a Chewie guy? I think AI is scary, but I think AI is going to figure out that if it gets too scary, we won't use it. Hephaestus.
I didn't want to butcher the name, and because I've had a little challenges with a few names in some of the interviews I'm doing. So say it again.
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus. And what does Hephaestus do besides bring your own media guy? I freaking love that. Where were you all my life?
So what Hephaestus is a brand that Hephaestus is the #1 manufacturer for automation in pre-roll in cannabis. They're leveraging 30 years experience coming from food and food automation, and they've brought all that experience into cannabis. And they don't just make a regular machine. They have real innovation going on. So they just introduced a product that brings MAP, so modified atmosphere packaging, to pre-roll tubes. So once your pre-roll goes in the tube, it's going to stay fresh for a year, fresher than without it. They also been just doing some incredible innovation in infusion pre-rolls, which are the hottest thing in pre-rolls. They have an airflow puncture that comes down, creates a center channel through the joint, so that when you're smoking your infusion pre-roll, it doesn't clog. So these guys are hot on the innovation. They make amazing machines. And right now, the #1 pre-roll company in America uses the Aura X to make all their pre-rolls.
To a party, the Harvest Cup in Worcester, Mass, a couple of weeks ago. And it was the party I was at was from Resonate, Worcester, Massachusetts dispensary. And I have issues with my body because I had my medical card in 2013. I've had 5 surgeries, 25 years. I hate talking about my body, but it kind of sets up why I use it medicinally.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm at this party after being on my feet for 6 hours. I was exhausted. I sat down on the table. I'm surrounded by people I didn't know. And I just said, hey, I'm in pain. Can anybody help me get high, please? Just like that. And people were throwing pre-rolls at me.
That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be.
I have a great life, let's just say. The challenges that we all face in this industry are unprecedented in business in America and the world. It just is. How are we going to finally get the hemp community, the legacy community, and the legal cannabis community together? And as I'm sure you're aware that Steve D'Angelo is starting a One Plant Alliance for that very reason.
Yeah. Well, all the parts do need to come together. As much as we have different entries, channels, and spaces within the marketplace, at the end of the day, together we comprise what the cannabis market space is. And so leaders like Steve D'Angelo and others,
and Andrew,
of course, Steve and Andrew, they come in as a pair. I'm a little bit more partial to Andrew, to be honest, but don't tell Steve that.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I just recorded it, but I'm not going to disagree. Okay. But Steve announced the Last Prisoner Project on my show in 2019. I was at CanX when he started, and I met Sarah Gertson, the longtime executive director. Yeah. And I told him, I said, Steve, wait, you're going to try and get every person that's in jail that's been busted for weed possession, low level possession crimes out of jail. And I said, yeah. And I said, oh my goodness gracious. Oh. I mean, you literally want to change the world, and he has changed the world. Yeah. And I give him a lot of credit.
I'll tell you, Steve's vision was even bigger. I sat down with him and Andrew a few years ago at someone's house, and he explained the vision of Last Prison and all that. And I was really inspired. I mean, that is really, this industry was started to help people that were in pain. And in the process, it's been able to liberate people from being in jail. There's nothing better than people being liberated from pain, liberated from jail. That's freedom, and freedom is important.
It's what this country was built on, but we forgot about what it means.
Right.
And why do we have to put a dollar figure on freedom?
Exactly. So cannabis is an access point to freedom, and that's what keeps on drawing me back into the system, back into the industry, even as hard as it is. And when you get to work with manufacturers and partners like Hephaestus that really care, have a lot of integrity, it makes that whole thing happen so that consumer gets the best pre-roll and the manufacturers have an easy experience with their employees and the system just flows. Everyone's happy. So it takes a lot of people on the back end, in the back side of the industry, like behind the scenes, to make all this happen. And I'm glad that there are great partners and throughout the supply chain and throughout the different channels in the industry.
Okay, the $1 million question: how'd you come up with the name?
Oh, I didn't come up with this name.
Who came up with this name, and what does it mean? Where's the name come from? Come on, tell me. Step right in. Don't be shy. Sit down. I'm doing an interview. Sit down.
He's the least shy man in the world.
Come on. How in the world did you come up with that name?
I did not come up with that name. I'm assuming it's I know it's from the Greek mythology. I'm sure Yuda has a better story about where it came from. But I think it's something about a Greek god, about something with manufacturing. But I'm not entirely sure. But we like the name. It's pretty
unique.
It's unique. It's easy to remember, and it's odd enough and unique enough so you remember.
Spell either.
Phonetic. I'm all about pronunciation, enunciation, inflection, and cadence, and that's EPIC, EPIC, which is my oral communication curriculum that I teach at the college level and at 10 to 18-year-olds. I've developed a way to have Generation Text learn how to talk, and you gave a great elevator pitch for your company.
Oh.
And I'm teaching personal elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Tell me your life story in 15 seconds. Ready, go. You already kind of get to the highlights. You got to think about the highlights. Think about it. I'm a sports guy. I look at a 3.5-hour football game, and I can tell the story in 30 seconds or less.
I got you. Fell in love with cannabis in my teens, expanded my ability to cultivate in college, moved out to California and expanded that to dispensaries, hardware, consumer electronics, and everything. Part of living is being able to evolve and change, and cannabis keeps on changing. And if you want to survive in this industry, you have to keep on changing. So I've done everything from cultivated cannabis, grown plants, worked in dispensaries, worked in building hardware, worked in marketing. And so now I put that all together in a 360, and I help companies like Hephaestus and others bring great products to market.
Fantastic. And I got to tell you, this is one of the reasons why I love coming to these events, to meet people like you through Jordan and Marino and other PR companies. I work with Maverick too, and they've lined me up a bunch of guests that I've been talking to.
I just want to say thank you to Jordan. Jordan really, he put this together. Him and his team are amazing. I really appreciate everything Jordan does for this industry.
And are you going to join the Sabbath Zoom coming up in the next couple?
I do join the Sabbath Zoom, and I'll see you on there.
Yes, yeah. In fact, I've asked to do the Motzi. I really would, because it was part of my personal life. I'm a nice Jewish boy from Newton, Massachusetts, who went into sportscasting for 30 years, won an Emmy Award, and now is in the cannabis industry because I hated the way media treated the industry. And these are some of the greatest, nicest people I've ever met.
I agree. I love the industry.
And we'll have more from the industry after this. Don't go away.
I am Kimmie Cannabis, and I am here with Pro Cannabis Media, Cannabis Coast to Coast News. From Oklahoma, can I talk about it? And this is such an exciting day. This is the day that everybody gets to go in and see all the latest, greatest new things out there in the world of cannabis. They have everything here, from the manufacturing, processing, to the growers, cultivators, dispensaries. There are classes, seminars, everything going on here that you need to check out. So if you haven't come down to the MJBizCon, you really do need to check it out. Even if it's not this year, get down here next year. I am standing here at the Bong Buffet that has been curated by the internationally famous Doreen Sullivan. And I just found out, just how much of an influence you are in the industry. There's so many people out there, and I'm really bad with names, but faces I remember forever. Right. So I will always remember you and what you've put into this too, from just learning that. Okay, so this is Doreen Sullivan. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on, Doreen.
Hello, Kimmie. I'm so glad you stopped by. Thank you all, and welcome to the Bong Buffet. So I basically curated some of my best sellers into a gorgeous buffet. First of all, we're in Vegas, so if you don't go big in Vegas, you can go home. Secondly, this is like the best buffet in town, and my buffet is really lit with the products that I've made over the past 10 years in the cannabis space. I'm an international product developer. I am not a glass blower. I'm a product manufacturer, and I love the art of glass blowing. I honor the art of glass blowing. I'm next to the best glass blower in the world, Jason Harris. I just wanted to kind of create something for the industry that really brought it into the home, into the home decor area. So I did a curated tabletop display around some of my favorite pieces and to inspire people in the creative process. If we're making things in an industry that has a lot of product, how do you get inspired to make something unique and different? That's what the Bong Buffet is supposed to do, is inspire the creative process in all of us.
Yes. So what got you totally started? What got you to where you thought bud, like your bud vase? Okay.
So how I started my bud vase,
Yes.
my aha moment was a final hide the bong dance. So I literally was in South Carolina, and I had just took a little sesh after a hard day, and there was this loud knock on my door, and I was like, oh, like all of us, like, oh shit, and I hid my bong amongst my vases, and then sprayed the house, opened the door. It was a carpenter who had to get on the roof, and when he left, my heart was just pounding, and I'm like, that is the last effing time that I'm going to deal with this. And I had my bong hid behind a vase that was shaped like a bong, and I always thought, this vase looks like a bong. And I literally was like, wait, I'm a product developer, now is the time. And as I walked around my house, I'll never forget it, I went to the mirror and I held the vase up to my face, and I'm like, okay, and then I held the bong up to my face, and as a woman, I'm like, this looks beautiful, this looks ugly.
Yes.
This is pretty, this is phallic, and I was like, that's it, and I understand how to make products, and I'm like, I think I'm the one. And that aha moment was a calling for me to create, to literally take charge and lead the artistic movement of bringing cannabis to the home decor, putting cannabis on a pedestal where it belongs, and creating beautiful pieces that people will collect and enjoy on a daily basis.
It is very true with that, the hiding of, we all grew up with the illegal, everything's been illegal. We were always hiding. The bongs and pipes and stuff like that were so stuck out like a sore thumb. Yes. Otherwise, you thought, you're stashing them behind the couch.
Yes.
I used to hide mine in the most odd places so people wouldn't see, and never would have thought about that. And when I saw these before, I was so in love with them. At another event, I saw Bud Vase, okay? And I was like, this is so bougie me. This is Kimmie Cannabis all day long. So I look so forward to going in and checking out what you have, and I'm going to really spotlight on here.
Okay.
So what you said you collaborate and things with people?
I do. So, for example, as we go into the Bong Buffet, one of my best collaborations is with a filmmaker and a writer in cannabis space, J.M. Balbuena. We went on a tree tour. I created a tree bong. She just wrote a book called Green Renaissance. We met each other at another cannabis conference, and we became friends. And I was like, will you go on a journey with me? And we went on an over 2,000-mile journey, authenticating the process and going into retail stores and talking to store owners and showing them my bongs, and bringing her book to the table, because everybody needs to be educated in cannabis, and educate that there's a new way forward. So thank you for being here to find those ways and those collaborators.
It's important.
Yeah, it really is. But at this show, I'm collaborating with Jason Harris, being next to him. When I started this business, as somebody who's been in business for decades, I realized, and I told people, it's not always the biggest companies that you need to collaborate. It's the ones that are just starting that really need the brands to say yes. That's why so many people know me in this space, as you said, because I really support, the first time I see a new woman especially come into the space with, I don't care if it's a dining company or a new product or an edible, I'm going to go to her and say, do you need, how can we work together and how can I help you?
That's fabulous.
Yeah, I really think so.
We really, really need more female supporting female work out there done. I appreciate that so much. I'm a very big advocate for women's rights and women's support the women in cannabis all the way. Yes. So I appreciate you. You've been out here doing this
For a decade.
Yeah, I like
10
it.
years.
That's a lot. I've been like 8 on doing like what I've been, and it seems like it's been longer because, but it seems like fun at the same time.
Yes.
Because it's what we love.
Yes. Well, and not to be a feminist, there are phenomenal products, and there's such a great industry in cannabis, and I love when people collaborate together. But from a product development perspective, there's a Grand Canyon in the preferences of what men like to smoke out of and what women like to smoke out of, and I think we can bridge that gap. So you want to go into the Bong Buffet and see?
Big time.
Okay, let's look at what we got. All right, Kimmie. So let's start here. So I made 100 of these sets just for MJ Biz. This is my new set called Eucalyptus, and it's inspired by the flower, which is a eucalyptus tree. I also added a little eucalyptus oil, essential oil, because why not, right? It doesn't have to just be, cannabis products. It's really about showing that our cannabis life fits into a normal life and a wellness life especially. So this is a wellness-driven product. And you get all 3 pieces here, and this is my cash and carry. And this is my Bong Buffet sign. So we have 6 different tables. And then I also just made this. This is my new rolling tray. It's got a nice lip on it. So unlike a lot of trays, it's not just flat. You can use it as an appetizer dish as well. And it's got a beautiful, very soft etched cherry wood made in America. I'm a global product developer, so I actually import from 11 different countries. Many people in the cannabis space, they have 1 or 2 suppliers, but I tend to, I've been a global product developer, so I work in 11 different countries importing products and elements that I put together in my pieces. This is a giveaway here that is called Pot Pie. It comes with a pie dish. So this is a repurposed vintage set, and it's our giveaway. If you snap a picture and you share it, you get to win our pot pie set at the Bong Buffet, right? How cute is that? Oh, there you go. There you go. So what is it, 2025, the year of the snake? So this is our snake table. And this is to look at the amazing year that we've all had shedding our gold skins and getting ready for the year of the horse and moving forward. But this table is inspired by my set, which is Burmese here. Initially, I designed this piece when I was at a Mike Tyson party, a mansion party, and everybody was smoking out of just weird stuff on a table, and I'm like, let's do a centerpiece for Mike Tyson. So that was my initial piece, and then this is our vamp vase. It really matches here. This is a very lady-driven piece. It comes with the little earrings, and this is actually an amulet that you can turn into a necklace.
Oh. I'm so
right? I know it's. I just listen. This is what I call exacting. Women exact. We want the exact right colors with the exact right nails, the exact right this. This is my number 1 piece, Stardust. She's a beauty, isn't she?
Gosh, exquisite.
And then my background is an advertising agency. All of the photos and all of the marketing I actually do because I come from advertisement and consumer product development and working in entertainment marketing. So I just love, my favorite thing is the photo shoots behind my products. They're as much fun as designing the products themselves. And I love it. I love that people, especially women, create with what I created. That's the biggest compliment if somebody takes what inspires them that you made and adds their art to it, which is the perfect example with this set here. So this is the journey of this tree bong. So in 2024, last year, I was designing a tree bong, and I was in Vegas, and I was researching about, forest bathing, about hugging trees, about what trees give us. And during the process, I met this amazing artist and filmmaker, J.M. Balbuena, and I said, would you like to go on a journey with me? And she had just produced a book. And so the journey became our story of her promoting her book and me promoting my tree. So this is a recap of our entire Bong Voyage. And J.M. Balbuena is here somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yes, I would love to introduce you to her. She's become one of my dearest friends. Look at us. We met at a cannabis trade show, and 6 weeks later, we were on the road together.
Oh,
J.M., she's here. There she is. There's my girl.
How lucky we are.
How you
doing? This is beautiful.
And then over here we have one of our top sellers, which is our mermaid bong. In all of the beautiful display. So this piece is just, it's one of my absolute favorites. It's got a phenomenal mouthpiece. And it's a really this piece rips. I know you're a bong girl, Kimmie. Yeah. This one is like right outside of the bathtub. You just put it there and you just like soak. But it's got a perfect mouthpiece.
That's what I was seeing. It looks like it would hug you that way.
Yeah, it really is just a lovely piece. All my pieces, like I design with multiple materials: porcelain, ceramics, glass. People ask me all the time, can you add, like dab rings and stuff to these pieces? And I don't recommend it because that's with borosilicate glass. I don't use borosilicate glass. I use all different mediums, and that's kind of my deal. So I work with soft glass, and it works for me, and it works for my customers, and it's pretty.
We will be right back with more from MJBizCon.
I'm Amie Carter at MJBizCon 2025 with Futurola.
And I'm Jack.
And I'm Becca.
And we love Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Welcome back to the Cannabis Coast to Coast News special report from the floor of MJBizCon here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Jimmy Young, the executive producer of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. And yeah, once in a while I get to go out in the field and actually talk to some really interesting people. And in fact, this is a perfect opportunity to thank the Maverick PR Group for doing such an amazing job for us. And so the support that we get from them is unbelievable. And I really do. I don't say this a lot. They're really one of the best PR groups I've ever worked with. I don't throw... actually, this is Thomas, and it's Craker, right?
It's Crocker.
It's Crocker?
It is. It doesn't look like it looks. It doesn't sound like it looks, I should
But,
say.
I'm all about enunciation, pronunciation, inflection, and cadence.
And I've learned to be that way because of my last name.
Crocker.
Yes.
What are you... What's your origination?
We always thought it was Austria, but I think it's modern-day Slovenia, but that's just one of my four grandparents' names.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, anyway, you are with the Botani Group, which is featured in Marijuana Venture magazine this year. Okay, that's Alex Boone on the cover, right? I interviewed him last year, I'm pretty sure, right here. So you guys are all about pushing paper. Duh. I read right on. I can read. If there was a script, I'd be much better off. But Thomas, tell me about Botani. You've been there for 30 years. If you think back where it was 30 years ago to where it is now, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, our company, Botani's our cannabis-specific arm of SWM International. And SWM is a paper company. We're paper makers. We've been around for decades, even centuries, making paper. And we have a long history, long tradition of developing innovative products and expertise in papers that are sold into the tobacco industry. And, Botani is really building on that legacy, and it's focusing on the cannabis industry and developing products specifically designed for that market.
Now, it's an interesting development in this industry with the cones. Old school, we used to be able to twist them, right? Twist those papers, lick your fingers. That's a great tip, by the way, that I learned back in high school. And but now with the cones and all this, is that something you guys are involved with, the cone situation?
It could be. I mean, we make paper. We make paper in bulk. Yeah. And the folks that buy our paper, they could use it for a variety of applications, cones being one of them.
Yep. And how can you give, without, secrets and stuff, how far has this company grown in 30 years?
Well, Botani, we started, it's 2018 when the Farm Bill became law is when we really moved into this area, and we've been making papers, like I said, for cigarettes and rolling papers for a long time. But we actually make, as part of our legacy tobacco business, is we make paper out of tobacco for cigars. Yep. So we have a process at a small paper mill in upstate New York that specializes in taking tobacco byproducts, from tobacco processing, and recycles them and reconstitutes them into a paper that can be used to make cigars. And so when the Farm Bill came into law, we said, why can't we do this with hemp? And so we worked on developing a wrap made from hemp biomass using leaves and flowers of the hemp plant.
That's what we saw. I saw that picture. That's what I'm going to try and find. There it is.
Yep.
Can I hold that up? We'll cut to it. Okay. That's how we do things in TV. Anyway, and this is very popular. These hemp wrap things. Yes.
We believe so. I mean, we've been working on it now for a long time, and it's out there. It's a completely different way to smoke product versus regular paper. It's heavier. It has a very unique texture. It's all natural because it comes directly from the leaves and flowers of the hemp plant. It has its own taste, its sensory profile, and what we found is that our customers really enjoy it because it marries really well with things like flavors and natural terpenes and things like that. So there's a lot of things that can be done with it, and in order for to have something that's really new and differentiating, and something that can help our customers kind of expand their portfolios.
And you brought up the Farm Bill of 2018.
Yep.
Okay, and needless to say, a few weeks ago, the federal government that created the Farm Bill, passed the Farm Bill, realized that, I think we screwed up. We kind of opened up a whole new industry. That's really not what we intended to do. And now they're trying to, of course, they go to bat and they say, okay, we don't understand it well enough, so we're just going to ban it, which makes no sense, but that's our government. That's how it works. What impact might that have if that ban stands up over the next 300 days or so?
Well, we don't think very much because the products that we make, we're very, very strict about what we use to make them, and they're compliant with the low level of THC because we do use post-extracted hemp biomass, and so it's already been stripped of a lot of the materials. But we're very strict about the raw materials and the testing that we do and the products that we make. So we don't really see an issue from that standpoint.
And what differentiates your company from others in this same space?
Well, I think we have a history of innovation. We've had an idea and we said let's try it, and we go, and then we one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is we like to listen to our customers. We want to make sure that we're partners with them and we understand their needs. Go back into the lab, work on products. We can we have our core designs, our core products, and we can work for sure on differentiation and tweaking the designs to suit their needs, and we just really focus on our customers, putting them at the heart of our business, and just try to help them be successful with their brands.
That's the secret to success in capitalism, is to listen twice as much as you speak, which has been a challenge for me since I was old enough to speak, let's just say. But I'm starting to learn that. More importantly, I teach that now to my students as I continue to. What's the future for you guys? What would you like to see continue to develop? Do we have anything in the research area that you might be working on that you can share with us? Or
well, sure. I mentioned the hemp wrapper.
Right.
One of the things that we did is we said, well, we could use other botanicals potentially. So we actually used tea leaves to make an analogous wrapper from tea. So we have a tea wrap that's new, so we just continue to try to evolve and try to come up. Our customers are always looking for something new,
right?
And so we want to, be able to do that and support what they want to do.
There you go. Any other initiatives that you take on from, environmental issues? I mean, I know a lot of people in the paper industry have to deal with the environment all the time because, after all, it's trees, isn't it? Last time I checked, right? Yeah.
Typically, however, in this case, we're actually recycling materials. We're taking a stream that would normally be thrown away, and we're using it to make paper. So we feel that we're automatically working towards that sustainability function.
That's great.
And a sustainability aspect.
I think that's what this industry still needs more of. I've been big on why not having incentives for solar powered operations, because I believe it. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. 10% of the electric grid in Massachusetts is being used by indoor grows of cannabis in Massachusetts. 10% of the electric grid, and of course, there's one solar-powered grow facility in Massachusetts. I'm familiar with them, but I would like to see the industry do more environmentally sustainable initiatives.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you guys want to do that too.
We do for sure.
And it's something you do on a regular basis. It's part of your soul.
It's part of our daily business. Yeah. Part of our daily lives.
There you go. And now, can you find specific botany wraps out there, or are they? You work with the other?
Yeah, but Botani is really a market brand for our company, and so we're, like I said, we're a B2B company.
Yep.
So our products are out there, but Botani is really just our market brand that's specific for cannabis.
I should probably ask you, what is your you got some C-level? What's your what's your exact title here?
I'm a product manager.
Product manager. Okay, that's cool. Well, you're the right guy to go to a trade show, because last year, Alex was here, right? Alex, cover man, notice that. All right. And marijuana. How big an impact is getting an article written in a trade magazine for your company? Will you see a lift in sales, for instance?
We hope so. I mean, that's why we're doing it.
That's right.
And it's something that it's something that we wanted to do.
Yeah,
so,
but everything's measurable these days, right? And everybody's so concerned about ROI and what their budgets are.
Correct.
And I know that's one of the reasons why you work with a PR company like Maverick, because they do a great job of placement, as it were, and getting you guys in front of people who are talking and know the industry in and out. I'm just trying to think of what other things can Botani do in the future that you think would impact the industry in one way or another? I mean, do you have a future research development kind of group that you look at? You must.
We do. But we, like I said before, really, we listen to our customers. That's what starts it, and then and we have our own ideas, but we need to cultivate them and work with our teams. But we have teams that do R&D and product development, and we just continue to come up with new ideas and new concepts and do our best to bring them.
And based in Georgia.
I am based in Georgia. Yes.
You're based in Georgia.
Correct. Yes.
And the company is.
The company's headquartered out of Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Yes.
And
we're
so we tiny Luxembourg, isn't it? We call it.
It's a fairly small country.
Yeah. But it's in the right spot. Well, Thomas Crocker.
Thank you.
It's funny. I made a mistake, because when I teach people interview technique, make sure you know how to pronounce the person that you're talking to. So I apologize for that.
No worries at all.
I am human, after all, and I'm proud of the fact that I am human, because I make tons of mistakes. But I should have a PhD. You're supposed to learn from all your mistakes, right? So by now I should have a PhD. But anyway, Thomas Crocker from Botani, thank you so much for joining us here on our Cannabis Coast to Coast News special report from MJBizCon 2025.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, and we're going to have more from the floor at MJBizCon here in Las Vegas, Nevada, after this.
I'm on the floor at MJBizCon. I can't wait to see what's next.
I think I messed up. Did you know there's a place that covers all the cannabis news you need? Pro Cannabis Media is now WPCM TV, your go-to website for things cannabis. WPCM TV is the CNBC of weed, bringing you the latest news you need.
Amie Carter. This week, she reports from inside the State House in Lansing.
I'm Amie Carter from Michigan Weedsters with this week's Michigan report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
And talk shows about all things cannabis.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all you're doing to get the word out. This show is so important.
It all started back in 2018 when Emmy award-winning talk show host Jimmy Young kicked it off with the In the Weeds podcast.
That it's not just any generic paper towel. You do have a brand that you use, right?
Yeah, we live or die by the bounty.
The quicker picker upper. I love that.
His mission? Building an army of multimedia journalists and podcast hosts who are documenting the fight to end cannabis prohibition in this country and around the world. Fast forward to today, and we've got the nation's only weekly cannabis coast-to-coast news program with Elena Pinto.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Cannabis Coast to Coast News, WPCM TV's weekly production of the fight to end cannabis prohibition in this country and around the world. I'm Elena Pinto.
Delivering the nation's only TV news-style program. Since June 2021, WPCM TV has racked up over 1.3 million views with 17 million impressions and picked up over 16,000 subscribers on YouTube alone. For more information, contact the team at doublepcmtv.com.
All right, and we're back.
I can't hear.
That was great. So what we're going to do now is
I can't hear.
turn it over to Tina. Tina, can you go ahead and take it away from the Blunt Brunch? Let's follow up on your side of what happened on Blunt Brunch.
I can't hear. Can you hear me?
All right, I think we're good now. I think we're good. I just wanted to bolt on to
Hello?
what Kimmie was saying about Blunt Brunch. The event was just really unbelievable and it was super glamorous. So from that standpoint, it was just so amazing to
I
just
can't hear her
glam up
even.
and go to Blunt Brunch. But you know, the
My
one big
phone
thing
is
that I
messed
wanted
up. Stop.
one big
My
thing that I wanted to shout out
gosh.
to Blunt Brunch
Video
about
is
is
on. Everyone.
I noticed that MJBizCon, you know, even on the first night of the exhibit floor opening, second night, third night, of course, but the first day of the show floor opening, everybody scattered. There were so many events. I mean, there were at least 25 events that were published. Those were just the events that we knew about. So everybody scattered. So what I want to call out to Blunt Brunch is they just did an amazing job having their event on that first night on December, it was on December 2nd. And they brought out about 400 people. I don't know the official count, but they brought out a lot of people. And in my opinion, they brought unity. They brought unity to the conference. And I think that's huge. In my past life, you know, I did big gaming shows, casinos, the casino industry. And when we did, for example, the G2E show, which is the biggest gaming show on the planet, you know, you had about 40,000 people coming into Las Vegas. The opening night would be a single party at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and most of the 40,000 people would go. So it would be one location. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is that that one night of unity with Blunt Brunch was so essential and so important. And I hope that other people felt the same way that I did, because I got to see people there that I would not have seen this week if I didn't go to Blunt Brunch. So thank you, Blunt Brunch. Thank you for that unity and the glamour.
It was a great event. I have to say so myself. Kimmie, can you hear us now? Your audio seemed like it was breaking up. Okay, she can't hear us. We're going to try something else.
But I can move on to the other events that we did attend. And
yeah, go ahead.
So further on in the week, you know, we were lucky enough to go to Bob Hoban's Global Connection event. Also, there was a private mansion that was just a few miles away from the convention center. And Bob Hoban, you know, he brings together such an amazing global connection of just unbelievable prestigious people from all over the globe. You know, he had just finished up the Icelandic conference, which I was not at, but I just know that he was at the Icelandic conference. Prior to that, they had done the medical marijuana conference in Bordeaux with Kristen Burry. And, you know, he just brings these connections together. And I didn't know how vast his connection reach was, and his global connection reach. I didn't know how vast it was until I experienced and saw it for myself. So there was a soiree over there on Thursday night, which was right before the MJs. So a lot of people came glammed up over there and came over to the Global Connection party at the mansion that Bob Hoban had with many other cannabis executives that were staying at this mansion. It had a lot of rooms and a lot of luxury restrooms and a lot of luxury fireplaces, a pickleball court, 3 swimming pools, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Hilarious.
Thank you. I don't even have a script. And so the party was amazing. And you know, thank you, Eric, my producer. We got some great interviews outside until the shivering began and the cold was settling into our bones, and we took it inside. Some real great companies were staying there. There's a new crypto company, Ovado. that is doing some launching into the cannabis industry. More to follow on them. Some exciting news, but just, it's good to know that we're all advancing. I know that there was some bad news, and there is bad news about hemp, and we're all feeling it. We are all feeling it. But the other thing, and I said this to somebody today that I spoke to in Costa Rica, and he's in the cannabis industry, and I hope that he's watching right now. And the fact is that it is still business as usual for all of us, and that we have to continue to go on, and some of us pivot because of it. We'll continue to pivot because we're passionate about the industry. We'll continue to pivot and move forward, but we'll also continue to fight. We'll continue to fight because we love our industry. So that was the theme that I came out of it. I feel like it's business as usual, and that people do have amazing things going on. There's global expansion going on everywhere. There was global expansion going on at the show. There was global expansion going on in our interviews. It's happening. We're not slowing down. So those.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in that we not only saw other people, but other folks from our team that are not on this particular stream. We want to shout them out too. Ryan assisted Amie, which was great. Matthew Freelander, he was there also. Let's see, Andrew Beringer.
Dina was there. Dina Najib. We saw her at Blunt Brunch. Yeah, we saw her enjoying the beautiful, glamorous night.
Yes.
Right. And Kimmie, who did you run into?
Oh, first of all, I'm sorry for my technical difficulties. I have no idea what happened there. But I ran into so many people. I ran into Matt Shotwell, Slim Thug. I ran into no, I as far as international went on that global end, I got in touch with a empowering women's group in England that I am now going to be a part of globally. That was a very big one. It was Empower Her, like Empower Her group. So I will definitely give you that contact. Amie got the contact too that night. That was a huge one for me because I'm about that as a global, yes,
Good.
all the way around. So that was a good one for me on that global end. I came back on when you were talking about that. I was like, I had so much fun there. But yeah, it was great. The interview that just showed with my bud face, Doreen Sullivan, was one of the most powerful women that I could have asked to meet. Her entire story I will be putting that on also on Canna Talk About It. I really, really just, she was a huge uh person that I look up to and have heard things and never met her. So I was like a fangirl of hers. I
Girl
really
crush.
was. Yes. And I have to say the girls from Miami, I ran into them. I don't know if you guys know about them. I'm going to have to give you the connection, but they are it. So
I don't know who they are.
I'm gonna the THC girls. I'm gonna have to give you the connection. They've got their own app, the Highly Connected app.
Excellent.
Every time I
Okay.
saw them, they shouted out my birthday too. Like they are these busy women, and they took time to like empower everybody around them. I felt it myself, so I felt really honored to have these little birthday gifts that kept given to me all weekend. And I wanted to do a shout out to Ryan too, because he didn't say it much because my birthday was going on, but he had a birthday too. So happy birthday, Ryan.
Oh, happy birthday, Ryan.
So
yeah.
All right, we're going to move into our last block and keep the comments going. We're still trying to answer them as they come through. Miggy, great to see you. Some others that had chimed in, we appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, Amie, she's watching from far. And on our Facebook side, we have Kay Allen. She's chimed in a couple times, which
Yeah,
is
Sweet Keep in the house. Sweet Keep in the house.
awesome. Sweet Keep.
Yeah, Sweet Keef. That's her brand. She's a really powerful female in Oklahoma. So she's supporting right now. I appreciate her.
And then we're going to have some snippets from Tina and I for Cannabis X America. So, Kimmie, you're doing on Can I Talk About It? You're going to have some clips, right?
Yes, I sure will.
All right. We're going to go last minute words here. Anything else?
Enjoy.
It's only Monday.
Yeah. Is it?
All right.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on our live streamed MJBizCon 2025 wrap up show.
And
I'm
here's
Jimmy Young, the
Jimmy.
co founder of WPCMTV.com and the executive producer of Cannabis Coast to Coast News with the very talented Elena Pinto. Every week, my vision of documenting the fight to end cannabis prohibition comes true. And like so many in this industry, survival is really the focus. The past week of the 14th MJBizCon in Las Vegas, Nevada, was really invigorating for so many. And we want to give another big thank you out to our supporters and sponsors, courtesy of the Maverick PR Group out of Denver, Colorado. Now, for those of you who might know me personally, I'm so proud of the efforts of the 7 or so correspondents and reporters who talked to as many people as possible as we took on the responsibility of creating a wrap-up show and edit for release as soon as we can. And yes, this is Monday the 8th. And I'll tell you, sleep is going to be on the agenda at some point, but the past 72 hours have been reinvigorating thanks to the power of the cannabis culture that was on display in Las Vegas at MJBizCon. The people in this industry are just fascinating to me and amazing. Running into complete strangers in Las Vegas who recognized me and actually thanked me for our work was really flattering and also inspirational. You know, it was really an amazing experience to be surrounded by like-minded people, and stories from the industry in their own words just kind of keeps us going. So please, thank you again for your support. I'll be jumping in a few times over the next hour or so just to give you some news items that have happened in the last week. And of course, next week, we'll have our regular Cannabis Coast to Coast news show with Elena Pinto for you to be released on Monday at 11 a.m. For now, we go back to MJBizCon wrap-up special 2025, and we'll also have some interviews from the Grasslands party and images of the MJ's after party. I ran into some old friends, including Tanya Griffin from Love and Penny Lane from Missouri, plus more from the media room as our Cannabis Coast to Coast News special report. MJBizCon 2025 continues after this.
I'm Amie Carter here at MJBizCon 2025 with Kristen from Blazy Susan.
We love Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
The Minnesota Star Tribune reported a fire erupted December 2nd at Wobigwan, Mesquite, the cannabis dispensary operated by White Earth Nation in Mahnomen. The blaze started in a lab where butane gas is used for cannabis extraction. Firefighters evacuated buildings within 300 yards, shut down nearby roads, and allowed the fire to burn itself out to avoid a possible explosion. One worker suffered minor burns and was treated and released. No other injuries were reported. The state's fire marshal office is now investigating the incident. Big news out of Cape Cod, Suncrafted has teamed up with Tribal Fire to launch the first licensed Native American cannabis brand on the East Coast, supporting the Wampanoag tribe with every purchase. The new line features premium flower, pre-rolls, and vape cartridges, available now through Tribal Fire Delivery. It's culture and community coming together, plus statewide dispensary expansion is on the way. That's it for the Nevada highlights and tribal nations. I'm Tina Tasaka with 420 Technologies and iconic representation for Cannabis Coast to Coast News.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the very special edition of Cannabis Coast to Coast News on location at MJBizCon 2025. I am the executive producer of Cannabis Coast to Coast News. I am Jimmy Young, and I'm joined by another Jimmy on this set. His name is Jimmy Brinkerhoff.
Jimmy Brinkerhoff.
And do me a favor. I'm going to teach you a little something about microphone technique. I want you to put it one fist under your chin. Go ahead.
Got it.
Just like that. Cool?
Cool.
That's what I'm here for.
You can teach me all interview long.
Well, no, I
whatever you wanna-
appreciate that. No, trust me. I like to teach people because as you get older, you have a lot of things to teach.
And as you get older, you still have things to learn.
That's right. That's right. And anyway, let's talk a little bit about Eden. And
Yes.
you're from Colorado. And tell me a little bit about your company.
Okay, can I tell you, first of all, how the name came about?
Eden.
Eden. Yeah, so
well,
we,
I'm familiar with Garden of Eden, but it's not. It's
that,
not,
that's,
it's not spelled that
it
way.
It kind of means that, but it didn't start that way.
Okay.
We grow regeneratively.
I know all about regenerative.
And we grow the cleanest cannabis on the planet, and we're proud of it. And we were trying to come up with a name that reflected how clean it is. And we were thinking naked, but then we thought, there's naked juice. That's not going to work. We'll get sued. And one of the people that was helping us wrote down nude. And then they flipped it. And it was Eden.
I love that.
Nude spelled backwards. And then I'm like, yeah, it's like the original garden too.
That's right.
So
it's a great story.
That's the origins of the name.
And you're a grower.
Yeah.
You're basically
I'm a farmer.
You're a excuse me.
Yeah.
A farmer.
I'm not a grower. I'm a farmer.
Well, let me ask
Regenerative farmer.
Let me ask you a question. Hang on a second. Is there a connotation there? I mean,
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not saying. I would not want to get in trouble with my brethren.
Oh, that's all right. Well, anyway, so a couple of things. One is, I've always felt the growers in this industry are the superstars because it's a live plant and every human is different and has a different reaction to this live plant. So how do you ever get to the consistency part of growing and farming the same product over and over and over again? Or is that impossible?
Well, I think your best shot at it is allowing what God gave us to do the work for us, which is really incorporating microbes, worms, natural products into living soil, and that takes care of everything. Doesn't mean that my Trop cookies is going to be exactly the same every single time, but it'll always be incredible. Always. It might vary a little bit, and that's kind of the beauty of it all. Right. There's different VPDs going on, different sunlight. It's winter's different than the summer. It's always a little bit different, but our products are very consistent.
Yeah.
And it's really with the natural way we grow them.
And is it outdoor?
No, but we take advantage of the outdoor. We have a hybrid indoor.
Mm-hmm.
We have glass roofs, light depth. We're 4 seasons. Right now it's 20 degrees and it feels like Kauai in our facility. So we add heat in the winter. We're 4 season indoor.
Yeah, and you're Colorado based.
Colorado,
yes,
sir.
Which is a great state for a lot of reasons. And needless to say, one of them was one of the first to go legal, adult use legal. And one of the graphics I use all the time when I have my Colorado reporter on, it's the marijuana state, it's Colorado, right? I mean,
Right.
that's, and yet they still have issues in that state about some basic compliance issues that, it's amazing to me. I'm from Massachusetts, which was the first East Coast state. And by the way, it's a vibrant market. It's doing great, but there's issues there too. It's like this industry, it's like you go around the corner and there's another issue you got to deal with. It's
Totally.
always changing. And
Totally.
is it because it's a live thing we're dealing with here?
I don't necessarily think it's live. I think it's new, and it has a lot of complexity. It's been taboo.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of murky history in some areas. And then you get the government involved. They want to regulate everything, and then they want to double regulate it. And when we started in our program in Colorado, our regulations were this thick.
Mhm.
Every year they put out new regulations, and it's difficult because I want to grow a really good product. I want to sell a good product. I don't really enjoy dealing with all the regulations, and I know there needs to be some, but it would be nice if they could streamline them.
Well, I've said this many times on any of the interviews I do, that the government at every level, whether it is the feds, the states, the towns, cities, are doing as much as possible to make it as difficult as possible for this industry to survive. And it's one of the things that bothers me about the industry is because there's a lot of finger pointing, and you've got the legacy, you've got the hemp side, and you've got the cannabis side, the medicinal cannabis side, if you will. So getting them all together is a challenge, and I'm sure you're familiar with Steve D'Angelo and Andrew's One Plant Alliance. They're going to be trying to bring everybody together because they always seem to do the impossible, and they're very proud of the fact that they're able to do it. Right. Yeah. Well, they've done a pretty damn good job with the Last Prisoner Project. Yeah. They really have. Steve has, anyway. What is your biggest challenge besides compliance? Is that just keeping up with it more than anything else?
I spent 35 years in real estate development, and I cold turkey started building a cannabis company.
Now, tell us that story because it had to do with your son helping you, telling you should do this, Dad. I love that.
I love real estate development, and I kind of migrated toward lifestyle projects because I love being creative. Our last project was in the Baja near Todos Santos on the Pacific Ocean, and we developed a 40-lot community there. Really spectacular, rugged, outdoor, beautiful. Yeah. And we finished with that and came back to Colorado, and I was like, I can't retire. I got to do something. And my son recruited me into cannabis, and he was like, this is the future. And we're growing 30% a year, and showed me all the charts. And I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. So I said, can I get involved on the real estate side? So we saw that many of the cultivators were in old, architecturally obsolete, big, dirty warehouse buildings. I said, we can do better than that. Let's save on operating costs, let's improve efficiencies. So we built these greenhouses, hybrid, that were completely designed to be automated for light depth and automated, so that you didn't have to close curtains manually or whatever. So we got into that, and the market started to fall quickly. And I ended up with 2 buildings, and I lost a tenant. So we're like, okay, let's jump into plant touching, and we did. We started out as a cultivation. Shout out to Wendy Kornberg, who was, and Chris Trump, who were some of our really special,
Thank
mentors.
goodness we have a significant other in our worlds, right? Yeah, that's right. The director. That's right.
Director jumped in. Let me direct this, please.
That's right. Because I was trying to think it, and tell him, and I was like, I already taught him. He doesn't want to do it. It's like,
well, you're going to have to tell me again, I think.
That's right. I know how
that
works.
Anyway, so it's just been this journey of learning how to grow regeneratively. Yep. We fell in love with that style. And, originally we were thinking salt-grown cannabis, make a bunch of money. But then when I started learning and seeing the people that were doing the regenerative, I'm like, that made me a lover of what we were doing. Yeah. So we got into that, and back to your first point, my son used to tell me he wanted to.
How old was your son when he approached you?
He was 40.
Okay.
He was 40, and he was like, Dad, the future's not in flower, the future's in like live rosin. And he loved that product, and I'm like, okay, and I'm going along with him, but I said the foundation of our business is the flower. It's the foundation.
Right.
And he didn't like that originally because it was like, no, it's passé. It's
50% of the market. It isn't exactly passé, but go ahead.
But even it's really 100% of the market to me because,
right, because
everything derives from it, and it's about creating the cleanest cannabis that doesn't have salt fertilizer grown cannabis. It doesn't have chemical pesticides, that it's super clean. And so people can trust you, and it tastes better, and it feels better, and it is better. So I always, and I stuck to that, and that's our brand. That's the most important part of our company. And yet you don't see our flower anywhere because it all goes into live rosin products.
Gotcha.
But our live rosin, we have the number 1 gram live rosin caught in Colorado. And we started from a standstill a number of years ago.
Yep.
And it's all because of the way we grow our cannabis. It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are too, Jimmy. That's a great name.
Thank you, Jimmy. I love that.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that meeting somebody like you in the industry, and we talked about this. Are you a Jim, a Jimmy, or a James?
I switched my name to James when I entered the industry because I wanted people to maybe not, to take me seriously. It's like,
don't be serious.
Sir James.
But I never had that issue. I don't want people to take me seriously.
I was, just trying to grow a company. But a year ago, I'm like, I'm going back to who I really am. I'm Jimmy.
That's right.
And what I realized is when when I introduce myself as Jimmy to people, they smile. It's like it's warm.
Right.
Whereas I'm James, it's like, oh.
That's right. I'm with you. And,
So I'm
only,
a
my,
Jimmy now,
and
Jimmy.
only my oldest friends call me James A. because they find that, I have some panache in my personality. I don't care. They can call me whatever they want as long as they keep calling me.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying, right?
At our age, that's important.
In Eden, you can ask for that in Colorado. Is it in any other state so far or not?
It isn't. And if anybody has some ideas for me out there, we're looking around the corner. I think our brand it's an incredible, beautiful, luxurious brand. There's a lot of value in it, and we're looking for the next thing to do out there. But it's in Colorado right now.
Right.
Eden.co.
Yep.
Eden Education is our identity on the socials.
Yep. Do you teach growing at all? Teach regenerative like Wendy and all that group?
No. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't.
I have an idea for you.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that, as they say, off camera, because
All
it
right.
could be business related. Is that cool?
And to all those that taught me, please don't be offended that I act like I know what I'm doing. We kind of do, but we've learned so much from a wonderful group of people that have been generous with their time and their life work.
I just love the fact that when you mentioned Humboldt County, and I said, "Oh, do you know Wendy Kornberg?" And of course, he said, "Yes, we do." And I was like, "How is that possible?" That one person I know a few, but still, she's my favorite from that area. Jimmy Breakerhoff from Eden. It was great to talk to you, and I hope
is this already over?
Yeah, I know. And more importantly, it's not over because you and I are going to continue to keep in touch.
Sounds great.
And I've got some ideas for you. I think
right.
you'll like those. In the meantime, we got to take another break because that's what we do. We have a lot more interviews ahead of us and a few other things coming your way in this special wrap-up from MJBizCon 2025. And we will continue with this special report from Cannabis Coast to Coast News after this.
One of the biggest challenges in the industry continues between the federal law of illegalites and state laws of adult use or decriminalization with medical programs. Curaleaf is one of the multi-state operators who continues to adapt to the challenges of hemp, and international expansion is Curaleaf. Our man, Doug Miller, who is high on Wall Street, takes a look at how Curaleaf is performing.
I'm Doug Miller from High on Wall Street with this week's Cannabis Stock Report for Cannabis Coast to Coast News. Curaleaf, one of the largest MSOs, just announced a $110 million deal to acquire the cannabis company's entire Virginia footprint. This includes 5 operating dispensaries, the option to open a 6th, and a massive 82,000 square foot cultivation canopy. It's one of only 5 vertically integrated licenses allowed in the state, meaning Curaleaf just bought prime real estate in a tightly controlled market. The cannabis company, formerly the Columbia Care, plans to use the cash to pay down debt and stabilize after a tough couple of years. Why is Curaleaf jumping in now? Because Virginia's heating up. With 8.6 million residents, the state could become one of the largest new cannabis markets in the country when adult use sales potentially launch in November of 2026. Analysts are projecting $780 million in year 1 sales, blasting past $1 billion by year 2. If the deal closes as expected in early 2026, Curaleaf will officially take over Greenleaf Medical of Virginia and lock in dominant position before the recreational market explodes. So let's take a look at Curaleaf's stock chart. It's trading around $2.73, and it's looking good as it curls up. So watch for dips, trade smart, and lock in those profits. And that's this week's Cannabis Stock Report. Reporting for Cannabis Coast to Coast News, I'm Doug Miller.
I'm Alicia Bellamy for Cannabis Coast to Coast News, and this is your Minnesota Report. I'm also the founder of Herbs and Herbs, and I am on the board of directors for the Minnesota Cannabis College. Today we have Christian Shank, an Eden Prairie entrepreneur that has been charged with theft by swindle. He's been charged with stealing $76,000 from the THC beverage company called Crooked. He co-founded Crooked with former Minnesota House Majority Leader Ryan Winkler. In other news, we have Todd Thompson. He's facing felony charges after selling cannabis without a license. Ashima Tobacco and Pipe in Monoman, Minnesota, is where this took place. This is located on the White Earth Tribal Reservation. Law enforcement raided his shop just days after Minnesota legalized recreational cannabis. During the raid, they seized 7.5 pounds of flour, 433 grams of wax, and $2,700 worth of cash. Thompson is charged with selling without a license. His defense is that the state has no jurisdiction on tribal land. We also have Cody Weber, a Minnesota man that was caught in Nebraska for interstate trafficking of 252 pounds of cannabis flower. Charges include possession with intent to deliver and driving under suspension. My name is Alicia Bellamy. I'm coming to you from Cannabis Coast to Coast News. This is your Minnesota Report.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the continuing saga of the Cannabis Coast to Coast News special report from MJBizCon. And I'm at a very famous place right now. I'm at Planet 13, the world's largest cannabis dispensary, and I'm at Dazed. And if anybody's followed what we've done over the last few years here at Cannabis Coast to Coast News and WPCM TV and Pro Cannabis Media, what brand are we? What day is it? It's always changing. And now we are rolling. I thank Jordan Eisenstadt because I'm at the Bagel Bash for Jews and Weed. It's this new kind of bonding group with a lot of different people of like-minded faiths. And I was introduced to this woman, Daniela Williams, and she's in HR. And Jordan Eisenstadt is the one who organizes this. And I have some amazing stories from days from last year. Do you know who Larry Flint is?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so the founder of Hustler magazine, he's kind of famous. I've never met him, but last year at Dazed, I met his grandson, and on the phone that I lost is a great, I have him actually doing a dab hit at Dazed, okay? And that being said, he tried to dab me under the table with 13 dabs, and I live to tell the story. In fact, I did an interview right after that is on YouTube, if you want to search it, not that you would. But again, that's how my mind works at these things. And I am happy to meet with her because I trust Jordan. And you're in the HR community in the cannabis space, correct? Tell me a little bit about how you got into it.
Yeah, so I personally got into cannabis through my father. So he was a huge proponent of cannabis, medically, recreationally. Since I was probably 4, I can remember him on his soapbox. And he was very focused on it becoming legal. And he passed away before he ever got to see that happen.
That's really too bad because Florida, as we all know, is a vibrant medical cannabis community. I believe it's 860,000 patients in the state of Florida. And you have one of the most evil governors in the world.
Yeah, my mom calls him, what does she call him?
Just not DeSantis, no, I'm sure.
She calls him the devil or something like
the
that.
Devil or the stupid. Let's, that's really nasty.
Yeah, and I'm from LA, actually. So that's where we grew up. So it was obviously happened a lot sooner there, but he still passed before that. And so when Palient was formed, they reached out to me and asked me if I want to come and kind of completely build this company myself. And so that's what I've been doing and get to talk about my dad every day. And the goal is we want everyone to have access, right? So Palient was formed on the passion. Every single one of our C-levels, including myself, we have a tie to the plant. And we found it to be a very underserved market in the sense that there's just not a lot of access for the employees to have what in other industries is the basic requirements to work somewhere. Benefits, 401k, training, HR, an environment where they can feel safe going to work. And then the operators, they have never had the opportunity until as of now to actually have the tools and resources that they need to be accessible to them to be able to professionalize and grow. And so HR is a very underserved thought process in this industry. It's something I'm focused on educating people about. And the operators are forgetting that, yes, you focus on the operational compliance, but once you have a W-2 employee, whether this is federally legal or not, you have to comply with labor laws. And so that's what we're doing.
And I can't wait to be a W-2 employee again one day because I had a few when I had a few businesses, but now that I'm in the cannabis space, I have paid all my dues. Okay, let's just say, how challenging is it in the HR space to find good candidates and place them with people that you already know? I'm talking about established businesses that come to you looking to help recruit their staff. How challenging. That's got to be, you have to be very discerning about your candidates, don't you?
Yeah. So we don't really do recruiting or staffing. We are providing HR services, outsourced HR services to companies. So payroll, HR, workers' comp, compliance, all of that in one pretty package so that they don't have to worry about it. And to your point, it's very challenging.
Nothing else in this industry. Everything's challenging.
Everything's challenging. Yeah. I think that there's so much focus on other areas of the business, and HR is kind of like the last thing that anyone thinks about. They don't think they can afford it. They don't think that they need it. But this is a colorful space. It's very, very parallel to restaurants and bars. It's very
entertainment, but it's an entertainment / medicinal world.
right. And there's a colorful rainbow of employees, and there's a lot of labor laws, and people don't know how to regulate them, how to navigate them. They're not aware of them. And so, it's a challenge to try to bring focusing on this to the space. And so, I've been pioneering that and trying to educate everybody on why it's important, because you work so hard to get your license. Don't let the risk of an employee make you lose it.
Right. And treating people with respect is something that all of us probably can do better jobs at practicing.
Oh, humanity in general.
Yeah, that's right. I love human behavior because it's fascinating to study and look at. And of course, you have to care about that, and you have to be aware of it.
Genuinely care. I just want to see this industry flourish. I want every single human to have access, whether it's medicinal, recreational, I don't care. And the way to do that is to make sure these companies thrive, survive, grow, professionalize, and expand, especially if we're going to get taken serious as an industry.
Right. Now, do you work with True Leaf by any chance in Florida?
I do not, actually.
You know they're the biggest. You know who they are, don't you?
I absolutely do.
Do you know Kim Rivers, the CEO?
I know who it is, but I don't know her personally.
Well, I have a very dear friend that I was with last night. It's her best friend. Yeah, and I've met Kim once in New York at an ArcView event in New York. But anyway, I go off on these tangents, Daniela. I am still left over. Do you know what that is? A leftover?
No.
Being in this space, you should probably learn. So, you know what a hangover is?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, well, a hangover makes you feel really crappy, right?
Yes, very much so.
If you wake up and you're still high, I call that a leftover.
Oh, yeah, I've been left over many times. I just
most people in the industry understand that analogy.
I didn't know that was a term.
No, I created that term. Oh, I created that. And I'm an educator. I really believe in what you're trying to do, which is educate others about, look, God put this plant medicine on this planet for a reason. And unfortunately, the depth of history and the depth of racism in this country, which is part of the history and why this plant medicine has been vilified and banned and called a drug for about 100 years now. I mean, since the prohibition that started in 1937. And I gave you a little history lesson on that, didn't I?
You did. I'm feeling very knowledgeable now. I know everything you're saying, and I'm like, yes, now I know. Thank you.
And actually, that's a great factoid to share with people in the industry because they don't know the history. They don't understand. They don't understand that Black people are 4.5 times arrested more than white people, and both races use the plant at the same percentage, 20%. And when I learned that stat, I got even more pissed off about how this plant has been treated through the years and how this country treats the industry. You know, they make it as difficult as possible to survive in this industry.
Oh, incredibly.
At every level, federal, state, county, town, city.
Yeah. So being from California, I've had a lot of friends who've been in this industry legally, not legally, black market, whatever. And what's so crazy is I heard their struggles, right? But until I was in this space, I didn't understand it. Just even in New York, as an example, the requirements that these business owners and people trying to get licenses have to go through, the red tape. They're asking you to put things in place for your business that you can't even get in place until you have an employee, but you can't get an employee until you have a license in a business. The red tape it's insane, which has just fueled my fire even more to help support and make sure we're a lasting industry. Absolutely. And HR and employee labor compliance is just not talked about enough. And so I love that I'm given this platform. So thank you. And I'm here to spread the message.
Well, I think that's great. And you're speaking my language, girl. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what keeps me going. It's why I'm so proud of every week that we produce the Cannabis Coast to Coast News Show with all volunteers. I have a Boston morning anchor that is my anchor. She used to be anyway. Now, she's still my anchor, but she used to be on television in Boston. She's so talented. And the best part about Elena Pinto is she's doing it as a volunteer. I get her for 30 minutes a week to read the scripts I write for her. And it's, you know, I'm an old guy. I get 30 minutes with her every week on Zoom. It's awesome. And I turn my camera off and I turn my mic off and I just let her be. And she's a pro. I mean, she's a network quality talent. And by the way, she reads those scripts cold. So if you ever watch her and you're impressed with her like I am, you'll see what I mean by a network talent. She's really good. Daniela, you too have a striking look that I look for. So just so people know, I'm going to put this on recording. I've offered her the Florida correspondent opportunity. I have had a few in the past, okay? But you will absolutely embrace it because it's perfect to get what you're doing out in front of not just Florida, but we have a national. So thank you so much for joining me. Jordan's giving me the high sign, which means he needs me to wrap it up, which, by the way, he can understand. I'm wrapping it up. See, I told you. We'll have more of the Cannabis Coast to Coast News special from MJBizCon here at Planet 13 at the Bagel Bash. After this, don't go away.
Tell me what you have going on here.
Colin Fraser, we're Uplink right here. So we're the first black-owned cannabis delivery app in the United States and in Jamaica. We are the Uber Eats for cannabis here on the East Coast and repping Jamaica.
That's awesome. I like some cannabis Uber Eats.
Right? Convenience, right? And you don't feel like going anywhere. It's rainy, it's cold.
So would you put in a munchie run with it, like you know how some of them do?
So I'm trying to get restaurants to like tag team on it.
Yeah.
But they're like, so like we had this Jamaican restaurant, we had coasters in, and we said we left the coasters in there. If you eat from there, then you'll get 10% off. If you use the app from there, they will give you 10% off food. So it works kind of like that.
Are you all over Jamaica?
Yeah, Montego Bay,
okay,
Kingston, and Ocho Rios.
Okay, I've got some friends that live there, so I'll put that out there so they can so they can start Ubering.
Definitely.
Or not Ubering, but
the cannabis Uber.
But
right?
Uplink,
Right.
So they can uplink, normalize that.
We've got a real treat for you next because every time you go to a trade show, you're usually consumed with your own agenda. You've got appointments to make. You want to see different people at different booths. You want to go to breakout sessions. You never have enough time. When I heard that Wanda James was speaking at MJBizCon, I really wanted to hear her speak, but unfortunately, I couldn't. That being said, I reached out to Samantha Walsh, who is her communications director, and sure enough, she provided us with a video of Wanda James' speech or talk at MJBizCon. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Wanda James and why I was so excited to actually get to hear her speak. I have a ton of respect for this woman. She was the first Black woman to own a cannabis dispensary in Colorado. Now she's running for Congress against, I believe, one of the most veteran Congress people in the state of Colorado. Now, she's been on the Board of Regents at the University of Colorado. She is a naval veteran. How about that one, huh? And I'll tell you what, I'm excited to just listen to her speak because I have so much respect for this woman. So without any further ado, here's Wanda James from MJBizCon.
My name is Wanda James, and it is an honor to be back here on the MJBizCon stage. It feels like home. And in 2019, I was honored with being one of the first recipients of the MJBiz inductee to the MJBiz Hall of Fame. So coming back today and giving this announcement is really amazing to me. Look, it's been 16 years, and we have sent every message to Washington that we could possibly send to Washington. We have asked them for safe banking. We have asked them to deschedule. We have asked them to reschedule. We have asked them to treat us like business people and not like criminals under the 280E tax penalty. And what have we gotten? As of today, we've gotten nothing. We're still being arrested. Social equity is a slogan and not an action item. We look at what has happened here in the industry, and every single one of you out there know it. Our small businesses are not thriving. The MSOs are losing tremendous amounts of money. Patients are not being seen and respected in the way that they should be. And we are being divided in this industry between cannabis and hemp. The disrespect is real. So look, I am here today because I'm going full circle. I came out of politics to become the first African American legally licensed in America to own a dispensary, an edible company, and a cultivation facility. Thank you. That was 16 years ago. So now I want to take what I know about this industry that I helped build, that I love, that I have been a part of, and I want to take it to Washington. I am asking your support to send one of us to Congress. My name is Wanda James, and I'm running for Congress in Colorado's Congressional District 1. This would be the first time that we have one of us sitting at the table. Not somebody that you have to explain what a pre-roll or a concentrate is to. Somebody that understands what it is like to have been raided. Somebody that understands what it is like to pay 280E taxes. Somebody that understands what it's like to visit their family member in prison because of a plant. So look, we have given money to politicians, and I love them too. I love them, I know them, I love them, I love them. They're all very, very, very nice people. But what happens when we go behind closed doors, when they are sitting at that table? They come out and they tell us, we can't get safe banking. We can't get descheduling. We can't get rescheduling. We can't make social equity work. We can't get you relief from 280E. Why? Why? We are a massive industry, and we are not being served by our politicians in Washington, and we're going to change that. We have the power to put one of us at the table, in the room.
Yeah.
And I am asking you to come with me, to help me, help us.
Yeah.
So today, I'm standing in front of you because I want to deliver one message to Washington. And there is only one message that works. Legalize. Period. Yeah. Legalization is the only answer. It's the only way that we will be able to have strong businesses. We will be able to have real investment. We'll be able to have freedom from being arrested for simple possession. We have given Washington and every state the opportunity to fix this now for 16 years. We have tried incremental steps. We have gotten along. We have given money. We have worked with. We have lobbyists. We have organizations, trade associations. We have tried everything that we could possibly try, and it does not work. There is one answer. And we all must have the one answer, and that is full-on legalization. No half steps, no baby steps, no partial steps. One answer, full-on legalization. And we need somebody to be able to champion that at the table in the halls of Washington. And I'm asking for your support today.
And that's a little bit of her talk from this past week, but I've already been in touch with Samantha, who has promised me a one-on-one down the road, and you can look forward to that. For now, let's get back to the MJBizCon recap 2025. All right, welcome back to the special edition of MJBizCon wrap-up special. I'm Jimmy Young, the executive producer of Cannabis Coast to Coast News, and I'm joined by a guy. It's Max Van Slice. Am I right?
Sluice.
It's Sluice. See, this is the thing. If you don't ask me what the heck your name is and how to pronounce it, I could screw it up very well.
It happens all the time.
Max, thank you, and thanks for joining me again, because I remember talking to you last year.
Yep.
And something has happened since last year. I was at the Harvest Cup in Worcester, Massachusetts. Dialed In had their booth there.
Yes, we did.
And missed you by a few minutes, but I did sample your product, and I found it to be really nice. Now, I have a high tolerance, as you can imagine.
I would imagine so.
40 years of, 50 years of. Anyway, but at least I'm smart enough to understand the cannabinoid profile, the terpene profile, how it is all mixed together and how it works.
Yeah.
First of all, how is Dialed In Gummies doing?
Oh, fantastic, Jimmy. We had a huge boom in 2025. We we expanded out of Colorado.
Yep.
Went to Ohio, then Missouri, then Massachusetts, and we just recently opened up in Arizona about 6 weeks ago. So
fantastic. So the people in the audience from Arizona seem to be very happy about that.
They are definitely loving
and
the
I
product.
can vouch for the product because it is a good product. How do you have like a QC group? How do you continuously remake yourself when you go to another state, really?
Yeah, tight SOPs, making sure that you have your operation efficiencies down before you expand. And then luckily, we've refined all of our flavors and our processes in Colorado so that we could box it up and drop it into new markets. And, the biggest thing when going into a new market is understanding how the retails work, what are the regulations? Our labels look very different in Missouri than they do in other markets, right? So you got to just, roll with the punches.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of punches in cannabis. We're all bruised. The people, especially like you guys that are in the industry, in the trenches, every state is different. Every rule is different. You can't do interstate commerce, wink, wink, officially. Okay.
Hopefully.
But you can when you have a recipe for success.
Absolutely. And then we brought all of our new innovation products into all these new markets, which have been received extremely well. There's definitely a huge market out there that's looking for minor cannabinoid mixes, and I feel that the 4 that we have are some of the best in the market.
There you go. And there's a lot of competition now, isn't there?
Oh, there is, but not when it comes to a rosin-based edible, Jimmy. So there are other cannabinoid mixes, but they are distillate-based, so we differentiate pretty quickly there.
I was just talking to Jimmy from Parachute, Colorado, and Eden, and he was talking about it's about the rosin. And
solventless.
All I know is, even though I was a veteran consumer for many years, when I got my medical card in 2013 and I went into the dispensary, the first dispensary in Massachusetts to open, I said, I'm not sure I want to smoke it anymore. I've been smoking it for 40 years. What else you got?
Try something
so of
new.
course I walked out of there with the rosins and the gummies and the tinctures and the topicals and
all the fun stuff.
And but I didn't. It was the most amazing thing about it is, what's this flower stuff? And then I learned that it's only females that are the special part of the plant.
Absolutely, unless you're a seed breeder, you need the males. But yeah, for consumable and combustible cannabis, you only want the females in your grow. You gotta get the males out quick.
And by the way, I think males like that, actually. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But and we can certainly respect the female plant, and that's what it's all about anyway. How concerned are you about the future of this industry right now? Because there really is a challenge ahead for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we're going to roll with it day by day, month by month, and continue to put our best foot forward. Obviously, keeping an eye on regulations and how things may change over time.
Yep.
But I think we're in a good lane, and I think we have a lot of fun markets that we're going to be opening and entering into 2026. So I'm feeling confident, Jimmy.
That's good. Well, it's good to see you again, first of all. And more importantly, when you go to a show like this, there's a re-energizing
absolutely
feel for everybody, because we are all in this together.
Absolutely.
And granted, all I get to do is talk about it and report on it, but you guys are in the trenches actually growing it and moving it and trying to expand and keep your business growing as well. And that is, I find the industry fascinating, and that's the word that I find a lot of people in the industry use. There's so many elements to it that are fascinating. Do you still find it that way?
Oh, absolutely. And, when you come to as you said, re-energizing is a great word. You come here and you get to see a lot of your fellow cannabis comrades that are out there in the trenches, and just hearing how everyone's doing, seeing everyone again, it's always very refreshing.
Since I'm in Massachusetts, where can I get dialed in gummies in Massachusetts? I'm going to hope you know where.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Basque is a great start. You've also got Fine Fettle. You've got 3-6s. There's a lot of really great cannabis retail partners for us out there.
Dialed in gummies near me?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to our website and it'll tell you exactly where all of our products are sold in the state.
And there's plenty of products out there. And I wish you the best of success. And it's great. Now we've done this as a tradition.
Absolutely.
So you got to come back here next year. And more importantly, keep me in mind. Even though I live in Massachusetts, I'm still a well-kept secret there.
We'd love to see you in the
California. It's California, Texas, Michigan, New York, and Florida are our most viewed states.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue to grow Massachusetts then. I'll see you the next time I'm in town.
That's a date. How's that? All right.
It.
Terrific. Dialed In Gummies is Max's company, and we're so happy to have him back with us again. We're going to continue with our special report, a wrap-up from MJBizCon 2025 after this.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Tell me about Fluent and what differentiates Fluent from others in the same space in the cannabis industry.
Yep.
So Fluent is a multi-state operator.
That's why I knew.
Yep. And so we have a presence in Florida, which is about 70% of our revenue.
So Trulieve's your biggest competitor.
That's right. I think they're there in Florida too.
Yes, I've heard of them.
And then we have a pretty strong business in Pennsylvania. We have 3 locations there. We
happen to know Claudia Post and the delivery service that she runs in Pennsylvania?
I do not.
But you should, because she's a hoot and she's very professional. And I still consider Claudia a good friend. She was my Pennsylvania correspondent on our news for well over a year.
And she delivers cannabis.
She has a delivery company that's licensed in Pennsylvania, and I would be happy to make that introduction for you. And I will tell you, you will not regret it, because she is a hoot and a half. Let's just leave it at that. She's a hoot and a half. She's a tribes person, so she would be welcome. I'm sure she's been to another bagel bash in the past. All right.
Sure.
So there you go. So that's that. So you have a big operation. So now I know how to kind of turn these questions around.
So it's Florida, Pennsylvania. We have 2
medical only states.
Yep, and then we have a rapidly growing business in New York. So we just hit our 3rd record month in a row. We have a tremendous facility in Chestertown, New York, and then we just pulled our first harvest down of Connected and Alien Labs in our Buffalo facility.
Cool. Very good.
And then
great, Mark. As you know, I mean, New York's a pretty big state. You've heard of it.
Yeah, born and raised New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? I didn't know that, to be honest, folks, but I had that vibe going here.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
And then also we own and operate one of the 3 active licenses in Texas.
Right. Oh no. And Lord knows that'll take up an hour. Because it took. I think we led with that battle this past summer, every week for probably 6 or 7 weeks. One of the biggest frustrations I have in this industry is how the media portrays the industry, and it's one of the reasons why I got into doing what I do.
Yeah.
Because I spent 30 years in television newsrooms. I do have some idea of what the television news world is all about, and now I teach it. So I like to teach others.
Where do you teach?
I teach at Curry College, which is an old communications private school out of Boston area.
Great.
And I teach sportscasting there, and they just hired me on to teach business of sports production next semester, which is good. But I've been there since 2009.
So I taught last semester.
Where?
I was an adjunct professor.
That's what I am. Where?
Midtown East, LIM is the college, and they have a cannabis program. So I taught cannabis supply chain.
Awesome. And do you know Max Simon Greenflower? Because his group, cool. Because he and I have been friends since the beginning. Because when YouTube took his channel down in 2018, it coincided with the first podcast that I was going to post on YouTube. I pivoted immediately to the Weed Tube, which was in existence at that time. It no longer is.
Okay.
And now YouTube has softened a little, but they won't let me monetize my content because, after all, I'm a pro cannabis media person. And it's another reason why I got debanked. All my money got thrown out of the bank because I was funding a pro cannabis media company. And by the way, I'm not alone. Okay. When I said to one of my friends that I've interviewed, I popped my cannabis cherry. I mean, because like everybody in the industry has had a problem with banking.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping. So I got involved in 2016. I joined a startup. Mark Lustig pulled me into a company called Canna Royalty. We built a pretty big business up. We had some ops in Oregon, investments in Move initially in Arizona. We spun up some operations in Puerto Rico, and then we were later 2020 acquired by Cresco.
Oh, I know Cresco. I love those guys.
Yeah. So I've been around a little bit on that front.
So I obviously read 40 to 50 newsletters a week, and then I curate that content and create my news show. And I have 23 correspondents from all over the world. And we produce a 1-hour news show every week. And this special is going to be longer than an hour. Trust me. Yeah, we've got a lot of content because I've got 4 reporters on the field and we're doing lots of these interviews. So I love meeting people, especially through Jordan and Marino, because they do a great job. The PR groups do a great job in this industry. But media it's difficult because we don't want to give away free media, because that's why I lost a lot of my money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it has changed quite a bit.
So what's special about this year is that this
great question.
This should be the last. This is going to be the last and largest Schedule I conference in the world.
and it's the largest uncontrolled clinical trial of a plant medicine. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going on right now here over breakfast.
Thank you. I'm left over from last night at the Grasslands party, so trust me, I understand.
Great.
It's still the biggest freaking challenge any of us have ever done. Do you have any regrets at all? Or the challenges make you even more passionate about it? Because it does me.
Look, my journey is different than most. I entered 2016. We started a business up. We did a series of acquisitions, and as far as I know, we had one of the largest exits in 2020. So from there, I was able to step back, and then I re-entered in the New York market. I came back home as an investor, as part of the startup of travel agency in New York City.
But hang on a second. You guys sponsored my news show.
Oh, okay.
I know, and I've interviewed the woman, the CEO. Rain, Raina. Yeah. Thanks. Best way to describe her. Okay. Forget the names. But travel agency, I remember producing the commercial for travel agency, and New York made you put the disclaimer at the end of the commercial because I wanted to be compliant.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I took care of you.
It's complicated.
That's right. It's complicated.
So I don't feel. So for me, I had a monetization event. I re-entered it. I re-entered into the space, knowing exactly what I was getting into. I just did 3 weeks ago. I was on the Business of Cannabis panel in New York City, and then 2 weeks ago I was in Washington D.C. on a panel with Jim from Cornbread Hemp.
Not only do I know Jim Higdon, okay, but he was also on my show. I've interviewed him, and Kerry Hinkle, who was on the U.S. Hemp Roundtable, is my hemp reporter. And let me tell you, I'm proud of the coverage that we did over the last 4 weeks of this. And by the way, 48,000 people have viewed our work in 28 days on YouTube. So it's not like I'm a little internet guy, little YouTuber. Oh, well, Jordan's a good man. For whatever reason, he voted for me as Cannabis Journalist of the Year as my MJ, which I think is tonight, which I don't even know what year, day it is. And I lost my phone. So I'm like, you know what I am? I'm the wandering Jew. Are you familiar with that phrase at all? Sure. All right. So look, I have to wrap this up, but I want to continue to work with you and talk with you. I want you to know you have a friendly professional media person that is interested in helping you tell your story and not worry about, leading the news because you misspoke or they ask you questions about, so what do you do about the increase in emergency room visits in your state that you're in, which drives me crazy because I know a product that can bring you down like that in 5 minutes, and it's non-minor cannabinoid based. I'd love to introduce you to this kid that created this. It's all spices, it's all stuff, and it's all already federally approved contents. So there's no reason, no Schedule 1 issues. You see what I'm saying? And I I've been waiting. We've
on record here.
Been all waiting.
9 years I've been saying this.
One last thing. Are you familiar with the closed door meeting that's going on right now with the U.S. Supreme Court and the Canna Provisions case? They're trying. Well, they're trying. This group I know out of Massachusetts, Meg Sanders from Canna Provisions, and Verano, Verano, are challenging the prohibition based on constitutional law.
Prohibition of
cannabis.
Oh, great.
No, and it's funny. Last night I ran into him at the Grasslands party, and I said, "So, what's going on? What do you know about the closed door meeting?" Of course, they can't say anything because it's closed door. But they really believe they have a great argument, and we all hope that they win because I am tired of explaining and dealing with this all the time. But look,
logic should prevail.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
Hey. Very nice to meet you. And
my pleasure.
Congrats. Yes, I talk too much, Jordan. I know. All right, I'm wrapping up. Let's keep in touch.
Okay, you got it.
And we'll have more of our special in a moment. Don't go away. Hey, we're back at the party of the year at MJBizCon. I feel like I'm on like Entertainment Tonight or something, right? Because I'm running into all these people. Two people here that, as it turns out, when you're in the cannabis industry, it's a very small industry. In fact, did you know there's only 2,500 total companies if you consider Trulieve and Cresco and Curaleaf all one, and then you add it, so it's really a small community. This is Penny Lane and CJ, right?
C-Dub.
C-Dub.
CW.
CW.
Yeah, but whatever you like, whatever's easy.
I call him Dub.
I call him Sir.
Dub.
Okay, can I call him Sir?
Sure.
All right. So these two people here tonight that I'm running into are friends with a dear friend of mine, Brandon Jones, who was our Missouri correspondent for the news show that we've produced now for 7 years. And Brandon, I'm going to tell you a little secret. He was scared shit to be on camera when I first got him.
Really?
I had to walk him like a 5-year-old through it. And he not only did he do it, but he did it, he mastered it. And I miss him terribly. We want him back because Missouri has a very special place in the cannabis universe. Your man, George Jage, said to me, Missouri got it right.
Missouri did get it right. It's my 22nd state. Traveling across the country over the last, long time. I'm old. Decades. Missouri did get it right. When adult use passed, they didn't forget the patient.
Yeah.
So the patient market exists. Caregivers exist.
But it's still a plant medicine.
100%.
Let me ask you a question about the word recreational. Has it done more harm than good to the industry?
And like on a wide consensus, yes. Yes, in California, that was one of the states that they didn't need to change it. The med program worked there, and the moment adult use came in, the taxes changed.
Look, money is the root of all evil, people, and yet we're in a free society, and everybody likes to make money, and it's a capitalist society, and all that. But still, it runs the world.
Well, we need it. We need it to survive, but
equal. What's funny about equal rights under the law? The industry has been absolutely just vilified.
Oh, I agree.
And it's horrible how the government has treated it. It's against the Constitution, as I think. I really do. It is not fair what they're doing to this medicine. By the way, CW. Now,
Yes, sir.
if I read it, I remember it. You understand?
Right there. Yep.
Country and Western. How many people say that to you, right?
I mean, whatever you want to put the combination in for. I've gone on all kinds of crazy things like Christ watermelon, Colt.
What was that one?
Christ watermelon. That's one that's always been it.
All right.
Whatever you want.
CW was a television network, still is.
Oh, absolutely. Big time. CW.
All right, so you were friends, Brandon Jones.
Know Brandon Jones very well.
And
yeah.
you know his dear, dear friend, best friend Waxy passed. And it was
Stay
also
Waxy,
someone that
everybody.
you're very close with. How is it? How's the reaction? I mean, grieving takes time.
Oh, are you kidding? It's like
Right.
it's like a natural disaster happened within the industry out in Missouri. It really feels like it's it's something that takes an immense amount of a willpower and heart and a lot of love to be able to come back from. Because that's a void that's never going to get filled again. Like there was only one Waxy Brown, and that's never going to.
How's this club doing?
So I have been pushing to make sure this club stays open, along with the immense help of Tyler Smith, who owns Doobies and Mad Hatter's Emporium.
I went out there and rebuilt their stage, their outdoor stage, and their tiki bar. I've been so grateful to be able to have the opportunity to help them out. I wish I could have done more while Waxy was still alive for them, but Doobies is not going to die anytime soon. We're going to make sure his dream stays alive.
All he wanted was a place for people to go, sit and sesh, and community. That was Waxy was about the people, the community. One of the most selfless human beings I ever met in my life. Had the best ideas in the world.
I love that. You are good. Ideas. Did you catch that? I don't think I'm a virgin idea.
This one is full of them. She's full of them.
No, that's a fantastic thing. I love.
Yeah. So Waxy loved to call me late at night because I keep weird hours.
Waxy was on my channel.
I mean, I work in every time.
That'll do it for this week's Cannabis Coast to Coast news, and we return next week with our focus back on the fight to end cannabis prohibition in our country. Remember, it's a whole new world of weed out there. Consume it responsibly. I'm Elena Pinto, and we'll see you next week. And please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you then.